Just a couple of hours ago, the government came out with the GDP data for the latest quarter, and according to that, the economic growth has actually slowed to its lowest in more than 2 years, dragged down by construction, manufacturing and trade services, also stripping the country of its status as the world's fastest growing major economy. GDP growth for the first quarter came in at 6.1% compared with a provisional 7% in the previous quarter. That expansion was much slower than the 7.1% that was forecast by economists in a Reuters poll. We'd been reading about this poll. In fact, for the last 24 to 48 hours, 35 economists had been polled by Reuters who believed that this quarter, in fact, would log a growth of 7.1%. So it's significantly lower than that. It's also lower than China's growth of 6.9% for the first 3 months of 2017. However, the GDP for the full year has come in at 7.1%, and that is in line with the official estimate. Key sectors have also slowed down. India's chief statistician admits it could be the demonetization effect, but the chief economic advisor says that this was all largely expected.
It's quite consistent with what we expected in the survey, because we said that if you did the arithmetic on the monetary aggregates, it's in the fourth quarter that you would see it bottoming out, and that after that, because it's a temporary shock, demonetization, the economy would recover as remonetization was happening. The economy could do with all the macroeconomics policy support that can be provided.
Beyond the complexities of statistical analysis, can I have a simple answer that all those complex dynamic elements which impact these kind of figures, among them will you consider demonetization to be one of them?
Of course I would, but it's different from saying that it is a policy which is influencing the numbers by saying it is the cause of the number being the way it is. Yes, of course, one of them certainly. Every policy decision impacts the numbers, so will this impact the number.
Well, lots to talk about tonight. How long then could that impact last? What will it take for the Indian economy to recover and do better from here? Joining us tonight, two renowned economists, Surjit Bhalla, economist, senior India analyst with the Observatory Group. Also with us tonight, Professor Arun Kumar, author and economist. Mr. P.N. Vijay from the BJP is with us tonight. Jaiveer Shergill from the Congress Party. Dr. Surjit Bhalla, to you first. You've had only about maybe 90 minutes to look at these numbers. What's your first reading? How do you interpret them?
It is exactly the same story as last year. And the last year, if you will, the GDP numbers came out larger than expected. And the reason it came out larger than expected was because the deflator, that is the price side, was much lower than because of the commodity price fall, etc., and the way they compute the numbers. So at that time, all of us had warned that, look, maybe the nominal GDP growth rate is a better indicator rather than the real one because of price fall. So let me fast forward. Nominal GDP growth in this year is 1.5 percentage points higher than last year. And we all know about the effects that demonetization and the CPI has gradually been trending downwards, is now half of what it was last year. So how do we get that the deflator, if you will, is much higher than last year? And it is because of the commodities, the wholesale price index. We'll come to it later. One other sector, the sector that accounts for a very, very large part of the decline from something like 8% to 7.1%
for the year.
Is for the year.
Yeah.
Because, quarter by quarter doesn't make sense. I mean, it's good news, etc., but really, we should look at annual growth rates year on year, etc. And what is the story for the financial sector is that it accounts for about 0.8 percentage points decline. The financial sector alone gives you.
So what does that tell you?
What that tells you is that so basically let's look. The nominal growth, and that's why I think it's maybe a little bit not too appropriate for a family program, but basically it's prices, and how you compute prices affects the real activity. This was exactly the same story last year.
So are you saying that these numbers are the way that they are because of the way we're computing the GDP?
No. It is the way.
Or would you admit that demonetization, the impact is beginning to be seen now in these numbers?
So now let's look. I think the larger question and the correct question is exactly that one. What is the impact of demonetization, which is the real policy interest point of view, as was exemplified earlier? In their manufacturing, as you remember, that everybody was touting that manufacturing, small and medium enterprises were half what they were, and so on and so forth, because of demonetization. And it turns out it's not. It's a very, very small decline in manufacturing. Then there's wholesale and retail trade. Wholesale and retail trade is where a lot of the, if you will, the informal sector is. That has shown an increase over last year. Then you have agriculture.
Agriculture has actually improved.
So therefore, and that was because of rainfall, not because of something, but rainfall had a large effect. But the point is, agriculture did not decline because of demonetization.
Mining has.
Construction absolutely declined, and that's a real thing. And that has to do with demonetization and the very high real rates of interest.
So let me get a first comment from Professor Arun Kumar on that. Professor Kumar, you've been skeptical in the past about the GDP numbers. Today, would you say that these are more in line with the ground realities? Do you agree with Dr. Surjit Bhalla on the technicalities that he also brought up here?
No, the point is that you see 6.1% for this quarter probably also is overestimate, because as the Chief Economic Advisor and the Economic Survey and the RBI said, the unorganized sector is not factored into this analysis. And our method for calculation is based on the organized sector growth. Now, if the unorganized sector, which is very cash intensive in terms of use, if that had declined, by 20, 30, 40% as the reports came, in November and December and January, then, even this 6.1% rate of growth is really an overestimate. So in a sense, one is overestimating the growth from the unorganized sector because of the methodology. And that's why I've been arguing that the methodology has to be changed to calculate the impact of the unorganized sector. And that will happen over a period of time. The second point that needs to be made in this context is that the demonetization was a shock. As the Prime Minister said, that there'll be pain for 50 days, and then after that, the pain would start decreasing. Now, the pain was precisely this, that there was a shock to the economy. So, as compared to what the economy could have grown at, what is the decline? So, like say in agriculture, even though there's a good rate of growth of 5%, we don't know if the demonetization had not been done, what really would have been the growth rate in agriculture, compared to which now it is 5%. So, in fact, these two factors, still put doubt on the numbers, and we need to wait for a while before the actual numbers for the unorganized sector, etc., come in, and therefore they'd moderate the rate of growth of the economy for the last 2 quarters, not just this quarter, but even the earlier quarter when the demonetization effect was very high. And I would also like to point out that the RBI has been putting out the data on what remonetization has taken and what's the currency with the public. But there also, I think there's a bit of a problem that needs to be sorted out. And once that is sorted out, we'll know what the impact on the unorganized sector is. That would be much greater than what is being factored in at the moment.
So let me take your skepticism to Mr. P. N. Vijay. Mr. Vijay, what do you feel about Professor Arun Kumar's comments? He feels 6.1 is actually overestimating the growth, and he's questioning the entire methodology which is undertaken to come to these numbers.
Well, it's a very technical debate, and I would not like to come on prime time and discuss whether the numbers have been. Let's for a moment interpret. Look at the numbers and see what's the broad message they are giving, and what do we go forward now. Even during the demonetization, the RBI had talked about a V-shaped recovery in the economy, and government had also been saying that there will be a temporary problem of private consumption as cash from a very cash-driven economy is removed. So all that is showing. But I am very enthusiastic about the economy going forward for a few reasons. First is that the macros of the economy are very strong in terms of inflation, in terms of the exchange rate, and in terms of business sentiment. And also high velocity indicators like auto sales, retail sales have been very robust in the first 2 months, which indicates that as the economy recapitalizes, probably the RBI is right when it talked about a V-shaped economy. Today we had the World Bank talking about 7.7% in 2017-18, and we would like to work hard to go towards that.
But did the numbers surprise you at all, the 6.1 for the last quarter? I know that Arvind Subramanian said that it was pretty much along expected lines, but you know, for instance, you did have expectations that even the last quarter would be at 7.1%, and even though for the year it's 7.1%, and that's pretty much in line after demonetization. But did that 6.1% come as a bit of a surprise even to you, Mr. Vijay?
Yes, it did. Frankly, but I felt, being so much involved in business and looking at the financial sector and the problems of the banking sector, which normally has contributed a lot to the GDP and the services, I was anticipating a dip in the last quarter number, which would take down the overall number. The extent of the dip came out in the last quarter numbers. But I was expecting a bit of a dip due to lack of private consumption and problems in the financial sector.
Okay, well, you're being honest that perhaps you underestimated how much that dip would be. Jaiveer, you know, the Congress, one of your spokespersons actually tweeted immediately after the numbers were out that this vindicates the Congress position. I mean, that seems like a very horrible word to use if the economy is slowing down. But just give us the Congress's take on this, because actually what Mr. Vijay talked about the macroeconomic story, I mean, he's right. You know, agriculture is all right, inflation is okay, the exchange rate is good. So this isn't doomsday. I think the economy could really recover and do well in the months ahead.
Nidhi, 3 points. Firstly, on the Q4 numbers. I think the Q4 GDP numbers prove the fact that demonetization was always a disaster, is a disaster, in the long run will prove to be disaster. You know, all the logic, rationale and the reasoning given by the government behind demonetization is proving to be wrong. That it is a temporary shock, it is not. Terrorism will be curbed, it has not. Till date, RBI or the government, not a whisper how much black money has actually come back into the system. We have not heard that system. Third, without commenting on the methodology behind these numbers, the situation is far more worse than on the ground. These numbers, 6.1 figure and the overall figure of 7.1 is not synced with ground reality. I am a bit surprised a senior person like Mr. P.N. Vijay actually says economy is going stronger. If you have a jobless growth, you talk about agricultural growth at 5.3%, whereas in India we have a 33% rise in farmer suicide. Then you talk about manufacturing, Nidhi. During demonetization, 23,000 factories remained shut. 70% factories in the unorganized sector were in layoff. You look at the service sector, IT, the most lucrative sector, is started laying off people from their jobs. So for which parameter economy is going strong? I don't know. Fourth, every time a carrot is dangled, it will improve. It will improve. There are certain sectors which have suffered an irreparable loss, which agricultural sector is one of them. How does the government plan to revive the economy? We haven't heard. The government has clearly misplaced priorities on its plate because they are still busy in self-praise after you hear Mr. Vijay. So the issue is the ground reality. You have the cylinder prices are up by ₹86. You have the job situation, as I already told you. You have the bank credit. The contracted by 4.3, you have the purchasers, the PMI index to 49%, which is below the 50% mark in the last how many years? I mean, the experts are there, they'll tell you. So the truth is, last comment, BJP has mastered the art of fudging and juggling numbers to mislead the public.